Hey, what's up, folks? What's up, virtual world? It's Chris, your favorite coach, your favorite host, back at you 2 days in a row with my random editions of Conversations with Chris. And like I said, no rhyme or reason, just completely random. That's kind of how I run my life and my business and everything I do. 100% spontaneous. So here we are today. We have a special guest. We have Sarah from Choice Mortgage, and I'm excited you're here. Thank you. Yay.
Yay.
And I have to say, so Sarah, the reason why we connected is because of the way that you were following up and connecting with the real estate salespeople out there. And I don't actively list and sell myself, but the people I work with do. And the way that you were, and looking at your bio, how you connect with people and look to build relationships, it doesn't go unnoticed. So just wanted to talk to you today about your journey and kind of where you started, how you ended up where you are, and what we can expect from you moving forward into the future.
Sure. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, so I do a lot of follow up with a lot of the presentations and stuff that I go to, a lot of the networking events. And we did run into each other at some point, and I did follow up. And so here we are doing this. And I think, thank you for acknowledging that, the follow up is part of it. I think one big thing of this industry and really any industry is the relationships that you build, right? You want to work with people that you know, you want to work with people that you like and that you trust. And I think that anybody can just ask for the business. And I think that that's part of it. But another big part of it is really building that rapport and the relationship with people. Before this, I came from a background of hospitality. Spent a lot of years working in hotel industry and sales, and then before that in restaurants. And there's a lot of things that I learned in those two areas of my career that can't really be taught with a workshop or a video or a sales course. And that's really just relating to people, understanding how to build that relationship, that trust, anticipating people's needs. I think that's a big one that you learn in the industry. And that carries over to what I do now, where I do work in the world of mortgages and real estate, and my target audience is the realtor, right? So I want to create that relationship with them. And that's something that I think is very unique to what we're doing here at Choice Mortgage, rather than just getting a loan officer to take care of the client and the buyer and make sure that their loan gets closed. You sort of get that next layer of the relationship part, which is where I come in.
Mhm. That's awesome. So, I mean, and it's so wonderful. So many of us come from like the hospitality industry or restaurants and things like that, right? And it's sometimes you get to this world where we're in real estate or mortgages, and you wish they kind of cross-trained you with regards to customer service, because I think
Yeah.
that's a component that people miss a lot. So, I mean, now, I mean, all this experience that you have, I mean, what was the gap that you kind of saw in the mortgage industry, or even kind of like the divide between real estate salespeople and the mortgage industry, that you said, you know what? I could fill this gap, and here, what was it, and what'd you do about it?
Sure. So I have to give some credit to my direct leader and my boss, and he's one of the loan officers that I directly represent. So I represent two, and they're both geniuses in their own right, and they're both very experienced in the loan world. And I think part of where this idea came from is when you're in this every day as a loan officer and on the financial end, it turns into more of a transactional type of deal. And what oftentimes people forget is that there's humans behind this. And often it's a person who's buying their first home or even their second home or third home. But it's a very emotional thing for them. It's a very exciting thing for them. It can be a very stressful thing for them. And I think a lot of people forget that it's not just a transaction. It's not just a closing. It's not just money in our pocket, but there's a relationship to be built out of it. And there's the human aspect that we want to keep. And so we thought, why not combine those two, right? So I come from a sales background, and I have built many relationships, whether personal or professional. And sort of that's been my thing: hospitality, taking care of people, anticipating those needs, where I have those two loan officers that are doing an amazing job at the financial part, the transactional part.
Mhm.
So combined, it really sort of bridged that gap of yes, we have somebody taking care of the buyer and making sure that everything, the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, and that they're going to get to the closing table on time and be able to get those keys. But also, there's a person who's maintaining that relationship and making sure that everybody feels and looks really good, right? So my thing is, I'm going to love on that realtor. My whole job is to make sure that the realtor shines like a rock star, looks amazing to their clients, so they can get those referrals and build their rapport and their brand. So that's really where we come in. So it's kind of a unique situation, but you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting two loan officers that are complete experts in what they do, and then you're getting me, who's sort of, the relationships concierge, if you will, to make sure that everybody's doing well and happy throughout the transaction.
Yeah, I love that. So I like how you leverage, kind of divided these things, where you kind of have, the technical aspect of the job and the relationship aspect of the job. You kind of divvied those up in two different divisions pretty much. So what would somebody expect that a realtor expect in working with you?
Sure. So along with, sort of getting full access to me and having a direct line to the two loan officers that I work with, there's a lot of other things that I sort of do for the realtor just to make them a better real estate agent, and more sort of competitive in their field. There's a ton of real estate agents, especially in the South Florida market, as we all know. And so you want to stand out. So a couple of the things that we do is I really want to add like a value to the relationship other than just getting Sarah as their buddy, so to speak. So we do a lot of classes that I belong to, sort of like a coaching website, and we offer a lot of the classes that are geared towards the real estate agent, how to follow up on your leads, how to get repeat business, how to get referrals, how to find options in a market that may not be in your favor for the buyer or the seller, depending on where we are. We do these personality disc sessions where we come in and sort of have them understand what their personality type is, and then how to sort of mingle and create a bond with somebody that might not be exactly their personality type, but find that commonality with them. So that's a couple of the things that we do to sort of enhance sort of what they've got going on, and to make sure that we're always adding value to their day-to-day, other than the coffee appointments and seeing how they're doing, and make sure that we're over communicating to know that their loans are in a great spot and that their clients are being well taken care of.
That's awesome. So, so it's, and we talk about this, about adding value between the transactions, right? So you've kind of taken the position of, let's help you develop professionally. Let's help you become better at what you do, better with leads, better at communicating, using things like the DISC behavioral assessment and such, so that everybody gets better in between these things, so that when you do have a transaction, it just works like a well-oiled machine. So that's awesome. How would somebody, if somebody wanted to, I mean, do you have a website where we could refer them to? I'll put it right here in the comments and stuff. People can click on it if they want to connect with you, get more involved.
Yeah. So we actually, choicemortgage.com is our website. And if you go to the website, in the loan officer section, you'll see my picture. So you can click on me there. Okay. I'm also on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I can send out my email address is Sarah, SARAH, at choicemortgage.com, which is nice and easy to remember. And then I can also include my business phone number if you want. It's 561-709-5151.
It's awesome. I pulled up your website here. I'm looking for your pictures. Are you under loan originators?
Yes.
Yes, here you are. And I'm going to there you are. I found you. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to post it right down here in wherever you're seeing this. And if you see it later, we'll have it. Look at that. It's nice and long, but it's real easy to click on. We want to make it as easy as possible. Like, Sarah's all about making things easy for people. So her information's there. Click on it. Get in touch. And are you kind of open to working with if there's realtors that have like they have an idea or something that they want to learn about, or are you guys doing any co-marketing with people, things like that?
Yeah, sure. Listen, we're open to, there's nothing that I will immediately turn down. So as long as there's a good conversation to be had about it, and as long as it makes sense, and, as my one of my leaders always says, as long as it's a win-win, right? So as long as it's making sense to the person, and bringing good things for them in their business, and sort of doing the same on our end, I'm open to co-marketing. If there's classes that we're not hitting on already, I will be happy to sort of collaborate and find those, so that way we can get that information out. yeah, it's got to be mutual, right? It can't just be a lot of take. And I think I tend to overgive, and that's sort of my thing. But it has to work for both parties. And I think, once you do that and you really find the mutual benefit of the relationship and also like working with the person, um, magic things can happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're always looking for those magic moments. So I just want to remind everybody we are live now. If you have any questions, you can type them in the comments. We'll be happy to pull them up. And after we're not live anymore, if you still put a question there, I have a feeling Sarah will get back to you because you're
Absolutely.
out there,
That
you're
is
active on.
that is my specialty.
Yeah, you're active on the social media platforms. You're pretty easy to get in touch with. I think those are huge, right? Just kind of ease of communication. So, I mean, are there any, like while we see if any other questions come in, are there any parting words that you'd want to share with anybody? Any advice for realtors or anybody out there that might be looking for a good mortgage company to work with?
Yeah. So I would say this. We hear it a lot. Some of the common complaints that we get from the realtors that we do work with that have worked elsewhere is the lack of communication that they feel that they're getting from the lender. It's the sort of the lack of partnership as far as really understanding how their relationship is working or what best to do that. Time, so speed of the loan, is another complaint that we get. And then, sort of issues popping up in the process that might take longer or sort of take things off the rails. And in a market like we have today, you really want to have that speed and you want to have that accuracy. And I would say one thing, or probably two things that we're really good at is we work on a proactive basis. We're not reactive. We like to be proactive. And one really important thing that we do to sort of implement that is we don't do a whole lot of online applications. They're done on the phone in real time with a person, and you're doing it with my loan officers. And the reason why they're doing that is one, to build rapport with the client, but two, any kind of red flags that sort of come up in that conversation, they can tackle them right then and there. They can get a better understanding of what those things are, so that way they can take care of them on the front end. So there's no surprises when the loan is going through its process, and that really helps that speed and also builds that rapport and that trust. And I think that's one of those things that we do that's pretty special for the realtor and also the clients.
That's huge. Thank you so much for that. Again, we got the contact information. We have the website. I guess it's a great place to start. You can just click there. You're connected to all these videos. It'll be out there. And like I said, you're pretty easy to get in touch with. So thank you for joining us today and sharing some words of wisdom, some little pearls, as I like to call them. And if we don't have any questions, we'll let everybody get back in there to the wolves, and hopefully you are not waiting on a call back from some loan officer that's kind of buried in the weeds that has no leverage, because Sarah's here ready to take your calls. And thanks again for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Chris. Have a great day.
You too. Bye, everybody.